morning. I am now on my third day here in Iloilo City, and this time we are going to have the third episode of the conversation with the CEO here in this new museum that the Ilonggos love so much. This is in the beside the Festive Mall here in the Mega World complex, and this is now the Iloilo Museum of Contemporary Art. This is going to be a very nice venue for the third episode. This time, we are going to interview the current President and CEO of the Medical City Iloilo, my successor here, Dr. Felix Villa. So let's go inside and take a look at this new museum. Welcome to Conversation with the CEO. It's a program that I initiated in Manila, but this time around we are here in Iloilo. This is actually the third episode that we actually conducted, and we are now doing it here at the Museum of Contemporary Art, the Iloilo Museum of Contemporary Art. And we have here my guest, special guest, is my successor to the position of President and CEO of Medical City Iloilo. The previous episode, we talked about medical nutrition, which is a new program for Medical City Iloilo with Dr. Bambi Tupas, who just came back from Medical City Ortigas. And then the other episode was actually involving not only you, but also the medical director, Dr. Debbie Uy, and the marketing director, Mr. Princello. But this time around, I would like to spend more time really just talking about Felix Villa. And Felix Villa, just to have a backgrounder, has always been with the Medical City. Even before it became the Medical City, it was just the Great Savior Hospital by the river in Iloilo. And then he was there when we started taking over as Medical City, and we started building. And now its new form, the Medical City Iloilo, has actually acquired so much stature here in Iloilo, and has actually implemented a lot of other things in Iloilo that has really set it apart from the rest of the hospitals here, and has become, in a way, a model of a healthcare delivery in Iloilo. So this time around, I'm going to talk to Felix as a colleague and as a friend. And so, Felix, how has it been since you took over in 2018?
Well, it has been quite challenging considering that it's a really high position, and I've never been in such a position before. So, and of course, there are a lot of people to manage, a lot of people to look after. And it was also rewarding in a sense because the challenge has actually brought out the best version of myself.
Don't talk in the past tense, because it still is a challenge.
It will continue to be a challenge, definitely, especially that the pandemic has thrown us a lot of curveballs from every direction. And I still look forward to leading the Medical City to greater heights, because of course, who will not love being with Medical City when you have very, very good people around you?
So many changes have happened, and a lot of them, or actually, you are responsible for, or in a way with the team that you have created. And maybe you can talk more about the challenges that you've encountered and the fulfillment that you have actually acquired now because of this. The last three years, you were the president, but even before that, when I was still here, you were already a very active leader in Medical City Iloilo because you were the chief medical officer. And that one was also a challenge because you had to shepherd the doctors, no, Iloilo, and change the way they think. So, how has it been, really, personally?
Yes, in the first place, when the Medical City came in, it introduced a very different perspective when it comes to patient care. And a lot of the people, the doctors actually, would actually put themselves on center stage. So we have to change that mindset, something that is difficult to change because we will be taking a lot of people out of their comfort zones. But although took quite some time for a lot of them to adjust to patient partnership philosophy of the Medical City. I'm sure that they have all realized its importance, and even our patients can actually tell the difference between a medical city doctor and a non-medical city doctor, because they can see that they are given more importance than their own doctors. And it is quite fulfilling in a way, because although it was, as I have mentioned before, it was quite challenging, and everybody started to realize the importance of patient partnership now. And I can see that even in some hospitals, they are starting to actually emulate that example. So that's where some of the fulfillment comes in.
Do you think the years that you were the chief medical officer prepared you for the job as president and CEO?
In a way, yes. Because running a hospital, the most challenging part of running a hospital is actually managing the doctors. Not managing the rest of the people, the nurses and everything, because more often than not, they're able to follow instructions, they're able to follow orders, they're able to follow what the management wants to happen. But it's the doctors that are quite difficult to manage, because it's really taking them out of their comfort zone, so to speak. And this behavior, it takes a lot of effort to change, because that has been the default behavior of doctors since time immemorial. I'm a doctor, I should be the god, I should be the leader and everything. And that's not how it is with Medical City. Because in Medical City, you're the doctor, you're in the same level with the nurses, you're in the same level with the security guards, you're in the same level with the housekeeping staff. That's mutual.
I think that really prepared you, because I need to really tell you that I have been very, very impressed with the way you look at leadership itself, the role of a leader, and redefining how people behave and think. And I think you should really assume the responsibility, but also the tribute for having really move forward in terms of healthcare. A lot of times when you are the CEO and the president of a hospital, of course you need to handle the operations, you need to handle the finances, sustainability, and all these other things. But beyond that, there are challenges, of course, because of this pandemic. But beyond that, you have gone beyond that, and you have looked at the future of healthcare in Iloilo. And that's precisely why I think the local government, the mayor himself, has seen that Medical City Iloilo is different, because it is geared towards the future. And I think you should really accept the tribute for that. You have the team. For instance, says, whereas it was difficult, and I think it's still difficult to start a residency training program. The residency training program in internal medicine was under you, and it was you that really pursued it. Now you have a complete complement, 3 years of internal medicine that was accredited by the Philippine College of Physicians, and you are going to graduate your first set of graduates. And I think you should say something about that, because that really prepares Medical City for the future.
Well, thank you for the tribute. And if you can remember, the very first thing I told you when I was appointed CEO and president of the Medical City Iloilo was that I had some doubts about it, and there was some fear. But yes, I know that what really made me accept the challenge was when you told me, but you have been doing it all along, you just didn't realize it. And I was thinking about it, and it's true. And I can see that I may not have been conscious about it, but I was actually being prepared for the day when I become the leader of the Medical City Iloilo. And that's what I also want to happen with the future graduates of a residency training program, that they imbibe that particular character, that particular culture, wherein no matter whatever the challenges, wherever they may be, everybody can say that this doctor is from TMC.
And that's precisely what assures the future. Because now you are really coming up into training And not only going to be the residents and the future leaders, but also even the way we are preparing the nurses and the staff that we have, the kind of staff that you have, the people in marketing, the people in operations, they are actually enthused by the changes that you have initiated. And I think that augurs well for the future of Medical City Iloilo. What's in store? What's next?
Well, we all know that at the Medical City, we are constantly looking for people with leadership qualities. And these leadership qualities are quite rare nowadays because most people would follow whatever is being told them to do, but some of them sometimes do not have the initiative of taking leadership roles. And we can only move forward if the people in the organization will also change for the better. And without that, we won't be able to follow through on our plans of the future. And of course, you already know that we do have a lot of plans in the next 3 to 5 years. And one of them, of course, is to strengthen our partnership with the local government unit with a very active and proactive leadership of Mayor Jerry Treñas and Congresswoman Baronda. And although I cannot exactly say in concrete detail what those plans are, but definitely we are having different partnerships that would push Iloilo healthcare to the forefront, especially now that we can see that the people are now taking health seriously. Before the pandemic, everybody would just go to the hospital if they have symptoms.
I think that's the silver lining of this pandemic.
Yes.
The silver lining in this pandemic is that we realize, and everyone realized, that there is no way that you can do things alone. Yeah. And that there is really the importance of partnerships, and the private-public partnership, especially if the public part actually is led by somebody who has the same set of values, then you can really see how Iloilo has actually surmounted this challenge that we have. Now, working 2022 and beyond, the investments that you have started with the internal medicine residency training program, when I was in the hospital, I saw you are recruiting for the residency program for pediatrics.
Pediatric surgery.
And surgery. And as soon as we are able to get that rolling, and then we collaborate with the Iloilo City government, and then because I have seen that this pandemic has really created a focus by the mayor on health. That if we can we can pursue the future private-public partnership, where we also provide expertise and some guidance to how healthcare in the Iloilo is going to be pushed, that we can actually expand and scale up the healthcare delivery platforms that we can create actually. So we can have the residency training programs in surgery, in pediatrics, in obstetrics and gynecology, and really go into subspecialty training in fact. I think that really is going to be the guide, the roadmap that we have. And I have always been telling you that other than this, which is basically disease-based, the bigger challenge is really wellness. Because here in wellness, it's no longer doctors. It's the public themselves who are going to take care of their own health. Self-care and assuming more responsibility over their own health care. And then we had Bambi Tupas, and she's going to talk about nutrition. And then we have the group here in Festival who will talk about wellness and all these things. I think everything is going to be
true. And Iloilo is a fast improving city. The progress is quite unprecedented, and healthcare should not be left behind. It should be in consonance. Yes. It should also be in consonance with the speed at which the city itself is progressing, the economy is progressing. So it should be the center actually of progressive community. As we can see with the first world countries, the very first thing that you will notice in a progressive country is the very efficient and very good healthcare system. Because without that, I don't think there will be proper development of a certain community.
Early this morning, I woke up at 6, and then I decided to put on my sneakers and to walk around the Esplanade. And I really walked and stopped and walked and stopped and meditate, maybe that you call this a meditate, until I reached the one fronting the hospital. And then I moved some more, and then there was this announcement again of the new hospital, the city hospital. And I asked myself, and you can now wax poetic here. When I first came here to check on the Great Savior Hospital, it was just a small hospital, and the river was really dirty. And there was no esplanade, and I thought, why would Medical City want to come here, right? But now you look at it and how remarkable, how just awesome the changes have been in a span of how many?
10 years.
10 years, no? 10 years, no? So, mas lalo na ikaw. Because you started with Great Savior right from the very start. You were just fresh from training.
Yes.
And you started it, and so you have every right to feel ownership of that hospital. In a sense, you watch it grow. So how do you now look back and how do you feel?
Well, in the first place, I do not really think it's just me, because I'm still with the people I've been working with for the last 10 years, and some of them are part of the Exicom already. And you can see these people, I think it's because we have the same vision. That's why they're still with us, because they can actually see how it will grow later on, how Medical City is going to grow and build a beautiful future for healthcare in Iloilo, build a beautiful future for its staff, of course. And loyalty is a very important thing when it comes to progress, because if you have loyal people around you, then it's also easy to move forward, knowing you are thinking in the same direction. And the ownership, of course, of the fact that I have been with Medical City for the past, no, I think it's 11 years already. This year is the 11th year, and a few years before that with Great Savior International Hospital. Well, I'm quite proud of the fact that I've never thought of going anywhere else, because
There's no reason to.
yes, that's true, because I've already seen how it's going to be in the next decade or so, and I was proven right.
Well, you talked about the team that started with you, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about loyalty, but loyalty is something that you don't, it's something that you see, basically because now they see the future, they look at how they started, but they have every reason to keep the faith, no? And that's what we are trying to do in Medical City. To make it a happy place. I keep on saying that, the 3 P's that we have, which is basically, it provides a sense of purpose to everyone, and that's a leadership thing. You have to create the environment where people have pleasure as well, where they can have balance in their everyday life, whether they are in the hospital or whether they are at home, and to get everyone to really create this scale that makes everyone proud of the Medical City. And I think that's a good guide, don't you think so?
Yes,
that's a good guide. Yeah. How do you measure the success that we have done so far, right?
Yes, of course. One thing to measure that is the number of people that stays with you for the long haul. And right now we have been welcoming new employees to the Medical City with the tagline "Welcome Home," because the Medical City should be a home, not just a place for work. It should be a place where you enjoy each other's company. It should be a place for self-fulfillment. It should be a place for happiness, for their overall well-being. And that's how we all see it. That's how we all see Medical City Iloilo right now, as a home not just a place where we can get compensation and everything.
Right. You know, Felix, that's the reason why I created this program, Conversation with the CEO, is really to get people to share, you know, and running a hospital. You know, anyone can run a hospital. You know, when you are just into numbers, you are just into you know, strategies and all these other things, the business side. And we know for a fact that that's not healthcare. You know,
That's business.
that's business. And we know for a fact that to be able to really stay on for the long haul, the future that never really stops, is to make sure that we are well grounded on that, no? And that's what has driven me to really create this conversation with the CEO, because I am so humbled that there are people like you who who can infect as many people also. No? So at this point, before maybe we can wrap this up, is are you now happy with the kind of doctors?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. There are still some challenges, but definitely it's not going to go away. There will be no day where you won't be able to encounter challenges, but these are things that actually that actually builds the character of any leader. And I'm just happy that the majority of the doctors that we have now actually see why we have the value proposition of patient partnership.
Yeah. You create that, Felix, and they come.
Yes.
Right? And then they come from other hospitals, they practice in other hospitals, and they realize that this is where they find purpose. You know, and the purpose of healthcare is not to make money. The purpose of healthcare is to create a healthy environment. No? And so even patients themselves realize that, you know, Medical City provides them a venue where they can express themselves when they feel safe. No? So I think we are on the right track. Do you think so?
Yes, I do. The 3 P's that we have been talking about, pleasure, purpose, pride, builds a better quality of loyalty than beautiful buildings and big machines. And sometimes this is a type of loyalty that doesn't simply go away.
Okay, so let us end this. Thank you very much. And maybe without having to think too much, let me ask you a question. If you don't think, you answer right away.
Okay.
Okay. So, sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Pancit Molo or Bachoy?
Bachoy.
Prawns or crabs?
Crabs. Crabs.
Manila or Iloilo?
Iloilo.
So with that, there is no way that anyone who has lived in Iloilo for so long and has experienced the growth of Iloilo would want to be anywhere else. Yes. And now you know why I keep on coming back. Okay. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Felix. Thank you very much. A pleasure.